Hello, coders! I've just noticed. Oh dear. See, every time I do this, every time I go live, there's always something I forget, and I've forgotten the camera settings. It's on autofocus. Let me sort that out. There we go. That should be better. Cool. I hope everybody's doing well. It's Thursday. It is 2040, yeah. Here in the UK. I don't know what time it is wherever you are, but I hope you're doing well. Today what we're going to do is we're going to work on the CMS, Content Management System, for the How to Code Well site. Now, I have said before, and this is me contradicting myself now, but I have said before that I wasn't going to do the CMS in the MVP, in the minimum viable product, because it would be another thing to build, and I was going to try and attempt to do everything using Docker and fixtures. However, there's a lot of content that I need to update. There's a lot of copy that I want to change and tweak, and I think the best way of doing that would be through a CMS, Content Management System. So this CMS is going to be completely and utterly bare bones. I'm not even worried about the way it looks, the way it feels. I basically just want a bunch of forms. This is going to be a tool for me to populate the database. It's not going to be something that I'm going to be using frequently. Essentially, what I would like to do, if I talk about the process of how I'm thinking about putting this live, once we get to that point, is putting it in staging, pretending it's in production, making sure the database is set up correctly or the data is in there correctly, the records are in there correctly, using the content management system, and then putting the site live without the CMS and importing the database into the production database. That's kind of where I think what I'm gonna do. I don't really see this CMS as something that it will be on production in the first iteration, at least. So I'm not worried about security in the sense of roles, user roles, and all of that stuff. I don't need to worry about that in this stage because I don't want this CMS to be on production and accessible. So we were talking. I don't know if anybody here who's seen the messages in Discord and the Discord server about this, because what I wanted to try and achieve was a CMS that I could turn on and off very, very quickly, because the API, the How to Code Well API, is going to be sharing the database that the CMS will be configuring. So I was thinking about maybe doing it in a completely different project. But the problem with that is that there would need to be some sharing between the API and the CMS with the ORM layer, the Object Relational Model layer. So all of the entities, all of the repositories, the database configuration, all of that would need to be shared across the projects. And that's a headache. So I've decided to go down the route instead of using a Docker container and bind mounting the API code into a container, which will also hold the CMS, essentially doing the CMS and the API in one project. However, two Docker containers, the API and the CMS, connecting to that single project, and I can configure the routes using the gateway, the Nginx reverse proxy. So anyway, that's what I've done. I did that earlier on, and it seems to be working all right. And I can just turn off the CMS by removing the container. and it seems to be good. So this here is Postman making a request to the CMS, trying to pull back. Well, it is pulling back all the courses here. I'm going to go through the code. I'm just going to go through it and just explain my madness. I think that's probably the best step here. So it's probably best if I go into the terminal. Let's come out of this. Can you see that on the screen? Yeah, I think so. So if we cleared down the screen, make a little bit of room, then if we did docker ps-a, we should see, yes, we do. So we've got the gateway, we've got the API, we've got the CMS, and we've got the database. Woohoo! Now the gateway is the Nginx reverse proxy, and the reverse proxy, if I can say it right, is going to proxy various requests to both of these containers. That's quite fancy, isn't it? So you can hit this using port 8081, although I don't think I need that at the moment, but you can hit this using port 80. I haven't got HTTPS set up yet. So you can hit this with port 80, and you can hit this using two different routes. One is api.howtocodewell.local, and the other one is cms.howtocodewell.local. And if you hit those, what happens is if I go over to the gateway code, which is here, you should see in nginx.dev.conf that there is this server block has been created here. So it's listening against this server name, cms.howtocodewell.local. There we go. It's doing the Docker resolver, and then it's setting an upstream to CMS. Now, this is the Docker service name, so any requests coming from this domain, this server name, is going to be pushed to /CMS, or with /CMS is going to be pushed, to the upstream. Very similar to how the API works. The API is up here, so this is listening to api.howtocodewell.local, and it's pushing it to the API upstream. Now these are, as I've mentioned, these are the services that the gateway is aware of, and this is configured in not in this compose file. It's configured in the API compose file. If I go down to here, Docker compose, so we've got the API. That's the service. That's gonna be ran when api.howtocodewell.local is hit. But then we also have the CMS, which is ran when the cms.howtocodewell.local is hit. They're both sharing the same code. They're both sharing the same network. They both depend on the database. And so far, touch wood, it's working. So I've had to do some trickery with things like trusted hosts. So supporting trusted hosts. Where is that? That's in the .env file, isn't it? Here. So up here. So the trusted hosts is api.howtocodewell and cms.howtocodewell. So that's done. I've also hacked around a bit with the CMS. I've turned off authentication because, as I mentioned at the start of this stream, I don't need it at this present second. I certainly will do if I was to consider putting this live. But just for the means of populating this database, I don't. And as soon as I want to turn off the CMS, I just do it using Docker. I just go docker remove rm that, and the container's dropped, and therefore the CMS cannot be accessed. Also, another thing that I could do, which I haven't done yet, but I will do, is here I can restrict it via IP address as well, so I can properly lock it down to my IP. Anywho, that is what I've done, and I've also started working on the Symfony controllers using the Maker bundle, which is amazing. And so far, so good. If I go over to here, I'll show you. So this is the Trello board getting my mixed things Jira. There we go. I will talk about that in just a second. So this here, cms.howtocodewell.local. If I go to CMS, that should take me to the CMS homepage. Woohoo! If I go to course like that, it should take me to a list of courses, which is fantastic. Now I know this looks terrible, like absolute garbage, but like I said, I'm not worried about this at all right now. I should mention, because this is an API and this is a CMS now, I had to do a little bit of jiggery pokery with the FOSS stuff, FOSS REST. So I've created a rule here for the format listener to say that anything from like CMS, starting with /CMS, is HTML, and it falls back to HTML. I don't want it to be, because I didn't have this beforehand, and of course everything was coming back as JSON. Imagine this in the JSON file. Yeah. So I've done that, which is good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go through. Now I've brought the stream up to speed. I've created a epic called CMS, or build a CMS for the MVP. MVP is the important thing here, right? Minimum viable product. So we've got 12 tasks, and I've also given myself a time frame to do all these in. I want to get all of these done by not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. Now, luckily, tomorrow is bank holiday, Friday, so I can spend some time on this. But I want to spend today, I want to spend the Sunday stream, I want to spend the Tuesday stream, the Thursday stream next week, and the next Sunday stream going through all of these tasks. And I'm hoping, but by the end of it, we will have a content management system. Okay, in any way, shape, or form, to me, I mean, this, this, it doesn't look great, but it's functional, and that's what I need right now. Okay, so another caveat to this is that anything I need to change in terms of the entities, I must test. I must test because the API relies on it. So I must, any changes I do to the entities, I need to write a test for. And make sure those tests work. However, I'm not overly fussed with testing the user journeys of the content management system. Not at all. This is only a little tool for me. If it breaks, it breaks, right? I'll fix it. But it cannot break the integrity of the entities at all. Okie dokie, right? That's enough gibberish. Let's get on and start working through some of these things. So I decided to start on the most difficult area, which is the courses, because the courses have you've got the course that relates to many tutorials. Many tutorials will have at least one, maybe two videos, because you've got the video for the free user, which is the YouTube, and then you've got the for the paid user, which is an ad-free video hosted somewhere else. And of course, you've got courses that are for paid users and not for free users completely. So there's all of that complexity and gubbins to deal with. So the courses is actually quite a big thing. If I can get this done, then we're in good shape. I don't expect to get the whole courses section done tonight, just to be warned. So if we go back to the Trello board here, let me just go down and go through some bits that we've done. Okay, so create the CMS container is done. Update trusted hosts is done. I was doing all of this at 6:30 this morning, so I was just in my head trying to work out how to do this. So create a reverse proxy, that is done. List all courses. I'm going to say yes, that's done. Cool. I like ticking things off when you start work. That's good. Okay, so list all courses, list all tutorials. That's the next one. Then list all books, create a tutorial, create a course. Let's move all the things for courses together. Let's do the courses in one hit. So create a course, update a course. There should be another one which is show a course, right? Because you can do that. So show. And I'm not really worried about the detail of these cards. If there's issues with this, or if there's something that overhangs to the next stream, then yeah, I'll certainly add more. Can I get my cursor back, please? What's going on here? Let me refresh this. Show a course. There we go. Okay, so create a course, update a course, show a course. Let's do show a... Oh, yes, and because we're doing CRUD, we need to do delete a course, right? Delete a course, delete a course. Okay. Groovy stuff. Again, what's going on with my cursor here? There we go. Okay. Alright, we'll do show a course first, because that's probably the easiest, I think, out of a lot of them. And then we'll do probably update a course, and then we'll do delete a course, and then we'll do create a course. Alright, show a course. Okay, so this is here we go. So this is when we hit show. Haven't done this yet, so okay, and it's broken. So this is going to be fun. Let's go into the CMS and let's tail the logs and see what's going on. Dev. Okay, so here, I think this is it here. Uncaught critical. Twig error, an exception has been thrown during the rendering of a template, unable to generate URL for course index. Oh yes, because earlier after dinner, what I was doing when I was dealing with all of this stuff is because this also has the API, I have been putting I've renamed all of the API controllers to have a prefix of API, and all of the CMS controllers have a prefix of CMS. But when you run the maker bundle in Symfony, it doesn't know about these prefixes and suffixes and stuff like that and these conventions. So what it does is it puts, if I go over to, I'm looking for the template, here we go, templates folder. If we go to the index, we need to adjust, I think we need to adjust all of the, that's the home page, that's not what I want. We need to adjust the these paths. I've done some of them so that CMS underscore course. So I was in show, wasn't I? So is there a template here or a call to a twig root which is broken? Yes, it is. So I need to do CMS underscore course index. Now what I'm going to do, whoops, I could, if I wanted to, just do a complete string replace, and I could do that for all of them, but I'm going to not do that, and I'm going to see the errors as they happen. I don't want to make errors. So CMS course edit, see, that doesn't exist yet. So there's a problem there. Why does that not? CMS course edit. That's a path. Right, so there's going to be a problem with the here, which is in, so that's the show, that's the new, that's the ID. I think this is, no, this is show, beg your pardon. This is edit, here we go. Ah, course edit. I see here, course show. And then this would be course new, and this would be index. And this is running off of CMS underscore course. So if we go over to the root names, I gotcha. Yeah, the root names need to be the full thing with the prefix. Okay. I think I understand. Right, so we were in edit here. So the root here would be CMS underscore course underscore index, yes. And then with the render would be, the render would go to course edit. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, let's try and do a refresh. Nope, still broken. Let's go back into here. Was it edit? No, it was show. Sorry, I'm doing the wrong thing. It was supposed to be show. Sorry. Dearie me. Show, I think, is this one. And it would be coming to show. And show would be here, which would be a redirect to CMS course. And CMS course would be up here. That would be edit. And edit would be not new. That's no. Sorry, I'm going forward and back here. That's show. This is edit here. Something's wrong with this, apparently. Redirect to root. No, that's fine. Edit. That looks fine to me. Strange. Alright, let me see what's in the logs here. Unable to generate URL for CMS course edit, as no such route exists. Okay, so... here we go. Course edit. Is that it? The name ends with course edit and is prefixed with CMS course. I think this needs to be... If I'm right, I think it needs to be that. I think. Come on. Come on. You know you want to. You know what you want to. Come on, you know you want to. No, you don't. Here we go. An exception has been thrown. Course delete now. Okay, I've got a feeling I'm going to have to go through all of these, aren't I? All right, so they all have a prefix of CMS course. So that should be index. Gotcha. That should be new. Let's tidy this up, right? Let's go through it all. New. I was going to do this one by one, but I don't think I can. That should be index. This should be show, which should be show. This should be edit. This should be delete. This should be index. Okay, now what's going on here? Why are we still seeing index CMS? Index, that's correct. Okay. Unsure about that. Anything coming through? I probably need to adjust the templates, don't I? Deary me. Yes, so CMS course edit, CMS course index. On new, that's CMS course index. Yep. This here is CMS course new. No, that doesn't make any sense. There we go. Good. And this doesn't make any sense either. Nor does this. Anything else? No, I don't think so. Okay. New here. That's fine. Show. That looks good to me. I'm gonna walk the ladder again and go up the road. So that's fine. Index is fine. I'm looking for these things, and if they're highlighted, that looks good to me. Is the form doesn't have anything in here? Delete form. That's it. This should be CMS underscore course delete. There we go. Right. Fingers crossed now. Fingers crossed. Okay, something's happening. There we go. It's all coming through now. That's good. Okay, so I can see the course. Hey, Mr. DB. Yeah, everything's well, thank you. Everything's good. I'm good. I'm happy. We've just did a here in the UK at 8 o'clock. There's a group clap thing for the NHS and frontline staffers and stuff, and it's great to get out and just social distance with the neighbours, which is nice. And of course tomorrow is bank holiday, so we're gonna spend a bit of time social distancing tomorrow, which is nice. So it's nice to have a little bit of human contact. And I tell you what, something that I've been doing, which is something that is very new. I've been doing some watercolor paintings. Oh yes, I have. They're not very good. They're very sort of, primary school. But it's just nice to do something that isn't anything related to this coding at all. I love coding, but it's nice to. I'm trying to use this sort of lockdown period as an excuse to try and do other things, even though I'm busy with work and stuff like that. Just try and fit in it half an hour somewhere to draw and paint. And recently I've been painting. I've done 3 so far. My 3 first ever watercolor paintings, and they've been of sceneries, so like mountains and stuff like that. My subconscious is basically telling me that I want to go for a hike, and climb a mountain. I think that's what it is. Anyway, but Mr. DB, I hope you're well. Let me just tap that up a little bit. Okay, so we should be able to go back to the list. Can we go back to the list? Come on. Yeah, we can go back to the list, and we should be able to now hit show. Good stuff. Can I edit this? Is this going to fail? Wonderful. All right, let's have a little look at this. So I've already dealt with the routing, right? So what's going on here? And I think what I'll do is, I don't really know when I'm going to end this stream yet, but I think what I'll do is spend like half an hour before the end of the stream to go through Jira. I think that's probably how I would like to do these streams from now on, is spend some time at the end of the stream to go through Jira and just make sure that, I haven't gone into any random tangents. I need some way of managing myself. What's going on here? I can't see the error. PHP info. Critical. Here we go. Catchable fatal error. Object of class supplier could not be converted to a string. Sounds to me like there's this needs a toString method. Could not be, and then it threw it again. Okay, now this is off the entity, and I did say earlier that any changes to the entity needs to have a unit test behind it. Good. So let's take a look. SRCs, entities, and it was supplier, wasn't it? Supplier. I bet this doesn't have a toString method. No. And if I remember rightly, back in the Symfony 2 days, when I guess this is because it's an embedded form, right? But back then there was this thing where I don't know if this is the case in this, I would imagine so. But if you had a form which had another form in it, and it was and it knew the relationships, if you put in a toString, then it would produce, or it would show a select box. That's the right word, select box, with the name of the entity or whatever string you've given it. So we've got a name here, so I could use that. But again, like I said, it needs to be tested. Even though it's a small little thing, I want to make sure that these tests are up to date. That's another thing that I want to really enforce. Okay, so we should have, we got a supplier test here. And let me see, can I run these tests? This is where it all goes horribly wrong and it fails. I think what I'll do is I'll leave that terminal just for the logging. I think. And I think what I could do is use the terminal here to do the testing. In fact, do I have a make file? I do. Awesome. Do I have anything in here for testing? I do. Test API, test, and then just test, and then here, test unit. Sweet! So, it doesn't matter if it's the API or the CMS because it's using the same code. So I could do make, I should be able to make, actually thinking about it, if I did docker ps-a, because this is now running in a Docker machine, I've got a feeling this is going to be empty. It is. So we need to do an eval to evaluate that to my shell. And now if I did docker ps-a, we should now see the containers, which we do. So now I should, in theory, be able to do make test -unit. Off it goes. Boom. Okay. So they look like they've all passed, which is good. 120. Sweet. So let's go and add one in here for getting the toString. So let's just get this. And I mean, people might think this is a bit odd. Why are you doing a test for basically an accessor method? You know, it's just what I do. Test toString. Now, I'm assuming it's a toString. Well, it needs to be converted to a string, right? So we instantiate a new supplier, and we're going to set the name to be, let's say, test supplier. That's very original, isn't it? And then I want to run assert same test supplier. I want to do this based on a two underscore, no, that's not how it is. It's underscore toString, isn't it? toString. Or we could probably cast this to a string. That's probably wise, isn't it? As in that does run the toString method, the magic method. Okay, and let's change this to be cast to string, or just do toString. I probably will just run all of them because they were quite quick. We should have one that fails. Yes, we do. And that is that this one here cannot be converted to a string. This is the same error message as we got in here, right? So if I can find it now. Where'd it go? Here we go. Critical, catchable fatal error, object of class could not be converted to a string. Okay, so it's the same. So essentially I've replicated this error in a unit test, which is fantastic. So now if I was to go into here and then create a toString method, which is down in here, public function underscore toString, and if I return this name, I could probably just do that. Get name doesn't do anything to the name, does it? No, it doesn't. Sweet. Okay, and then return a string and put in some fancy pants doc stuff. All right, let's hit save. Now let's run the tests again. We should have that passing, which it is. Sweet. Cool. Let's now refresh this page and also put some room in here for the, and fingers crossed. No, we've got another issue, or we have an issue. Okay, so let's walk this again. This is all info stuff. We're looking for a critical. Info, critical. Here we go. Uncaught exception, catchable fatal error, object of class proxies this time. Author could not be converted to a string. Okay, so it's a new error. Well, it's the same error, but it's on a new entity. This time, though, it's running in the the proxies. But I don't think that's terribly different, to be honest. So I think what I can do, the safest thing, I think, is to pretty much do the same thing. This is the toString method with the author. So author test here. So we'll create a failing test first. So we'll do it here. I'll sort all that out in a minute. No, whoopsie. No worries. Author. Do I have a name though? Set. Active. Email. First name and last name. Now I've got a decision to make, don't I? I think the it should be a combined. The return. If you cast the author to a string, I think it should be first and then last name. So let's do Peter, and then let's do the last name, set last name. Oops. To Fisher. I think that's probably wise. And then we'll cast this entity to a string, and we should hopefully see. Now this will obviously fail, but you know, that's what we do. We make failing tests. So let's put in author like so. Also notice that I haven't committed anything yet. I kind of done that on purpose, and I've kind of done that because I'm lazy. I'm gonna try and commit them when I do the go through Jira. If I can do it all in one hit, then I'll do so. So I'm not overly worried about that. That's basically what I'm trying to say at the moment. Okay, so basically I can't be bothered to squish my commits. Cool, so this should fail spectacularly. Yes. So this is failing because author could not be converted to a string. So yeah, same issue as we've got in here, could not be converted to a string. So I'm kind of confident that this is the right thing to do. So let's go into author. Now it needs to be first name and last name, doesn't it? So let's go down to here and then do a public function to string. And this time what we're going to do is concatenate. So we're going to do a return of this first name and then a space this last name. And I'm also going to put a trim in this. And the reason why is because what happens if they don't have a last name? You're going to get some you're going to get an empty white space here, aren't you? So if you put if there's no last name, it gets trimmed. So there you go. Okay, and then cast that to, well, not cast that, return that as a string. That's good. Again, keeping up with the quality. That's good. Right, so let's run the tests again. They look good. Okay, so let's refresh the page. Fingers crossed. Let's put in a bit of room. Has anything failed? Or I can't remember. We're doing edit, right? No, we've got a failure. Okay, it's going to be one of those evenings, isn't it? So infos. I'm looking for criticals. Here we go. Critical uncaught exception catch-all. This is price could not be converted to a string. Yikes! I don't know why price needs to be a string. Why does that need to be a string? That's just strange. This is very strange. Is there even a string? No, it's recommended retail price or discount and hide. So how am I going to cast this to a string? It shouldn't even be a string. It's a float or an integer. Okay, strange, but a test needs to be added. Nonetheless, we'll just have to cast it as a string, even though it's an inch. That's weird. Okay, so instantiate a new price, and then it's not that one, is it? It's insert same. And this is string. And I'm going to do, for this one, I'm going to do entity set RRP, and we're just going to do something like 250, 2.50, and the string should be, and I'm a bit confused as to why this needs to be a string. I'm not sure what Symfony is trying to achieve here, but it should be this. Oh, I've royally screwed that up, haven't I? That needs to be an entity. And what's the order of this? Expected and then actual. So that is over here. All right. Whoops. And this is test toString. Let me just double check as well. Have I changed the name of this toString up there? Yeah. Oh yeah, because I did copy it. Did I change the group? Yes, I did. Okay, so toString. All right. So this will fail. I'm guessing Symfony is trying to put this into a form with a selector, and that selector requires strings. Okay, so yep, we've replicated that. That's good. So let's go over to here, and let's do a public function toStrings, and then return the string representation of this RRP. Can I just get this from here, or do I need to? Why can't I access the property? Oh, it's capitalized. There we go. And it's a string. Okay, run these tests again. Come on, there we go. Come on, if I want to... I'm getting bored of these toString W's. Okay. Of course, that cuts that off, doesn't it? Expected that, so yeah. 2.5. Right, okay. Alright, let's hit save on that. Let's go over to here. Let's put in some spacing and let's refresh. Fingers crossed. Come on, I'm getting bored of these toString issues. Yay, we've got some form of form. Marvelous. Oh yeah, the price was... That's a little strange now. Why is that? That's not right. That's not right at all. The price should be like a text area. Sorry, a text box. All right, we'll have to address that at some point. But I mean, it looks terrible, but it's a form. I think what I'll do is I'll just make sure that all of the links work before I actually start hacking things together and start, using the form in its anger. So let's going back to the list. We can show call. We can edit. Groovy. Let's go back to the list. Can I edit from the list? Sweet, come on. Yep, good. Okay, so let's go back to Jira and just mark down what we can do. So we can show a course. Let's see if we can delete a course. All right, let's see if we can do that. Okay, here. Okay, so let's delete the HTML for Beginners course. Let's hit delete. Okay, it asks me, do I want to delete this? Yeah, why not? Right. There has been an error. Oh dear. Can I go back? Can I refresh? Have you deleted this course? No, okay, that's good. So the course hasn't been deleted, that's good. So now I've got something to play with. So let's see if we can delete and reproduce that error. I was kind of thinking that the deleting of the course would be the easier thing rather than the editing, but perhaps not. User. This is all info stuff. I'm looking for criticals. Constraint. Okay. This is going to be a bit of a tricky one. So basically, this is saying here, there's an uncaught PHP exception. It's a DBAL exception, DBAL. It's trying to run a delete from the course where the ID is equal to here. However, there's a problem because there's a foreign key constraint. It fails because the course ID references foreign key course ID reference course ID. An exception is what's this? Course ID. Where is, so I can see the package. There we go. It's okay, so the package. The thing is though, I don't want to physically delete the course at all. This isn't the query that I want to run. The query that I want to run is I want to set this to be inactive rather than delete it. So there is an issue here. And I think I'm going to have to, when I use the Symfony Maker, I'm going to have to adjust these. So let's go into the code and see what it's trying to achieve. If we go to controller, if we go down to CMS course controller, there should be the delete action somewhere. Let's edit. This is delete. Here we go. So something to do with a CFRF valid token, and then what it's doing is a remove and a flush. I don't want to do that, not one bit. No. I don't want to do that at all. What I want to do is I want to deactivate the course. If I go over to the course entity, which is this one, we should have an active. It's using the trait. Active trait, and this should allow me to change the active state between true and false. Set active. So what I need to do in the controller, the course gets passed in. The documentation wasn't updated. What's this doing? ToString method is not implemented on. Yeah, whatever. That should be. There we go. Although that didn't error before, so let's not hack around it. This should be something like this. This should be course set active to false, and then it should do a entity manager persist of the course, which is this one here, and then it should set this to be inactive. However, it's not going to adjust anything at all with this, because I believe that this is also, there should be active equals no. So it's already inactive. So in order for me to really test this, I need to go to edit here, not edit there. No, sorry, it was edit. I need to edit this one because this one has active of yes. And come on. There we go. And then I need to hit delete. Now this one is the PHP OOP design patterns course. Let's delete that. Yes. What else is wrong? Okay, infos. Looking for the critical, the first one that comes up. That's more infos. This is a commit. This is a critical here. Uncaught exception. Root not found, unable to generate the URL named index, as no such root exists. Oh. Here we go. So it did delete it, but the root wasn't correct. So this needs to be... I'm being lazy now. I should just be able to do CMS, because I've got my PHP Storm has been set up correctly. Yeah, that should work. Let me just double check if there's any other roots that don't exist. Like, I should be able to find... There's one. I'm sure I just saw one. Here we go. There. And this is for the new. Yeah. So this should be CMS course index. Anything else? I thought I got these beforehand, but obviously not. No, I think that should be it. I think I got the stragglers. Yeah. All right. So that's been deleted. It's probably going to break now because I've done a resubmission. Oh no. Okay, and yes, that was OOP, wasn't it? So that was now set to no. Fantastic. I just want to make sure that I can do an end-to-end on that. So we're going to take this one, for instance. We're going to edit that one. This is Docker for beginners. And we're going to delete this. We'll set this to inactive. So let's hit delete there. Now, there is a potential issue with this. Yep, so that all went well. Because I've set this to inactive, I really need to go through the chain and deactivate the other things that hang off of this as well. So, for instance, deactivating all the tutorials, for instance. I think what I'll do is I'll write that down as a Jira task, okay? Because that's quite an involved piece of work. So when a course is deactivated, or let's do something a little bit more high level. Deactivate child course requirements. No, deactivate. Deactivate child course entities. Related course entities. When course is deactivated. Now there's I think this is actually going to be a bit of fun to do, as in a bit of work, because is that actually saved? Come on, save, enter. Thank you. Because this is going to take. I need to loop over the tutorials and deactivate each one. Then I need to loop over the videos within each tutorial and deactivate, or just deactivate all the tutorials related to course, and then deactivate all the videos related to the tutorials. There must be some more. I can't think of any at the moment, but there must be other things that relate to the course. All right, we'll deal with that. MVP. I'll assign it to myself. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so technically speaking, yes, but not quite. Okay. Basically, as I go through this, if anything is going to be super difficult or more difficult than the top level tasks, I'm going to make another task. And put a pin in it. So, okay, let's do the update a course now. This is going to be an interesting job because there's all sorts of things to update. So let's say, for instance, I want to set this one to be active, right? So we would do edit. Do we have an active flag on here? Yeah, we do. So we do active. And now, so I've set this to be active. This is HTML for beginners. Let's hit update. Does this set this to active? Yes, it does. Sweet. Okay, let's also change the... What else can we do? Let's change the description. So let's do foobar. We can also change the slug. So let's go test. That's cool. The publish date is good. View count, let's do 100. I don't think I actually want the views anymore, but whatever. Updated dates, that's fine. Creation dates, that's fine. I can do the active. Image really is weird because that really shouldn't be a selected. So these are strange. Image supplier, yes, that should be a select box, right? Manning, me, and Pact, definitely, because I've done courses for Manning and Pact, obviously. So that's fine, right? This isn't fine. I suppose really this should be a file upload, technically, going to S3. And then the author, well, that's just me, but that potentially could be someone else. And then price, I don't know why that's a select box. Why is this a select box? This to me smells like there's a problem with the entities. The price, at least. The supplier is fine. The image, I think I can probably get around with doing a file upload. But the price is an odd one. Anyway, I've changed this stuff. Let's change that to be another 1,000. Blah 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 blah. Right, let's hit update. Let's just update the thing and see if there's any issues. And I think yeah, that's fine. Good. Views are 100, and I've changed this to be a foobar. Okay, good. So that works. But I'm worried about the price, and I'm worried about the image. I think these two need to be separate tasks, to be honest. I mean, this certainly is going to be tricky because this is going to be an integration into where the images are stored. Interesting. And then this one here, I've got no idea why this is a select box. That's not right. Okay, let me add some tasks into Jira. So upload, change, change image selection. Well, I need to change course image selection to be a file upload. And then this is going to be, let's grab that, come on. This should be send to S3, send to S3. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to play with that tomorrow, I guess. And then there was another one, wasn't there? The course. The course edit. The price in course edit should be a text box and not a price and not a select box. this, technically speaking, is a bug. Good. And I guess this is a bug as well. All right. Well, we can update a course with these two issues outstanding. Can I create a course though? Can I create one? Is this possible? I'm gonna say no because of these issues. But is there a create button somewhere here? Create new. Okay, that's great. Thank you for that, Symfony. I can't actually see. There we go. I'm gonna have to. Right. No, there's an error. So no. Okay, what's wrong with this? Scroll to the bottom of the logs. Right, info. Another info, another one, and where's the critical errors? Here we go. Uncaught exception. The method course get title return null, but expected a string. Ooh. Okay, so there's probably something wrong with my return type there. So this is based on course get title. Let's have a little gander on that one. In entity course. Here we go. And it is this is title. Title is a string. And when we instantiate this, now I'm not running PHP 7.4, I don't think. Am I not? Hang on, let me just see. I can't remember. Let me jump onto the box here and just do a PHP-v. What am I running? 7.3. Okay, 7.3 did have the nullable return types though. So, get title. Here we go. This needs to be a question mark string, and this needs to be null or a string, and also up here needs to be null or a string. Now I can't put in that this is a string because it's not PHP 7.4. Let me see now. Does this work on the? Too many tabs. Going around again. Refresh this. Anything going on? Still an error here. Okay, so scroll up. Here we go. Uncaught exception. The get subtitle return null, but expected to be a string. Null, subtitle. Okay, yeah, so this is nullable. Set title, get content, set content. I'm imagining these are going to fail as well. Subtitle. I wonder if PHP Stan would pick this up. I think I've got that installed. I haven't ran Stan in a... don't know why I did that. In a while. So it'll be interesting to see what does come out of this. It'll probably pick up like a load of errors. There's still another one there. I think we're playing whack-a-mole here, aren't we? PHP info criticals. Oh, that was a different one, wasn't it? Return null, but expected a string. Have you forgotten to instantialize the thing instead? What is this? What are you trying to do here? Access exception. But what is the property? Where is the file? Oh, here we go. Get content. I've got a feeling that all of these strings need to be nullable. So that would be content. That would be slug. All right. Unless on what I did in the constructor was I just initialized it with an empty string. Is that? I guess I need to have a look at the... I think they should be dictated by the database. So let's get into it. We're going to have to eval this to the Docker container, and we need to do docker compose exec MySQL API. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Can't find it. I think it's API underscore DB. Nope. Oh, hang on a minute. I need to run MySQL. Of course, in the container. Dope. I can't remember what the database is called. That's certainly not that. How to code. I wish someone would teach me. Show databases. Come on, let's go back. Not with an L. What am I doing? Oh God. This is me with my fat fingers. Show database is with an S, not with an A, with an S. Thank you. Right, API DB. How original. API DB. There we go. Let's do a describe. Of course. What have we got? What have we got? So we've got let's make that a wee bit bigger so I can see everything. Okay, ID is a primary key, image ID is multi, yada yada yada. Okay, so defaults are all null. Hang on, default is null, but null here. This is what I should be looking at, shouldn't it? So, no, subtitle can't be null. Title cannot be null. Content cannot be null. Right. Slug cannot be null. So, this means, therefore, that I shouldn't be doing this in the code. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Let me Control Z a couple of million times. And instead, what I should do is when we instantiate the code, we should do this title is equal to an empty string. This subtitle is also equal to an empty string, and this content is also equal to an empty string. Okay, whoops. Let's save that, go back into here. Not there, come on, not that. Exit. Come out of that. Right. Refresh. Let's get the next error, shall we? What is it this time? All infos. Here we go. Uncaught exception. I didn't do get slug. Damn. This slug is equal to and I think what I should do, tut, Pete, is I should write a test for this. I nearly got away with not writing a test. Course test. There should be one called default, or if there isn't, I'll create one. Okay, I'll create one. So test test defaults. Okay, so basically we instantiate a new course here, but then we need to make sure that we have an empty string, and we're asserting the same. So this is going to check the data types as well. So that's get slug. This is also get subtitle. And there was also get content too. All right, so let's run these tests. They look good to me. What are we on? 124. Good, good, good. Let's now refresh this page. Still an error. Right, where is it? Here we go. Uncaught exception. Return value of get creation date must be an instance of date time, but null is returned. So this does have, I'm sure this has a lifecycle callback, but the lifecycle callback, of course, is only being called. Oh, this is gonna screw with all sorts of things. The lifecycle callback here is because the timestampable trait here has the ability to do a pre-persist, I believe. Somewhere. Yeah, here we go. A pre-data persist. So that's going a pre-persist, and there should be a pre-update. But of course, these are when we update and persist, not when we instantiate the class. That's a shame. Darn it. So for this to work, then we need to go into the constructor and do this set, or could we do this pre-persist date? And what's going on there? Is that an unhandled exception? So if we go back to the course test here, this needs to be, we need to do a check to make sure that this get date created is the same, is an we assert, sorry, if I can spell it, that it's the instance of date time class. Good. Okay, right, let's run the tests. Okay, tests are fine. Right, then let's run this. No, still an error. Scroll to the bottom. Info. I've got a feeling there's going to be a load of these. Yeah, get price must be an instance of price null is returned. Ooh dear. That's going to be an issue. So this is about the price thing. I think we've stumbled upon an issue with how I've set up the pricing entity. Yeah, that's an issue. I'm going to put this in Jira. Or at least I'm going to oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Paste that in. And and it is kind of linked to this issue here, and it's not really blocked, but I think it relates to this one here. God damn. I've got a feeling that if I fix this, I'm probably going to fix this. That sucks. Right, I'm going to have a little look at how I've set all this up. All right, so we've got the course here, and let's have a look at the pricing. It's title, image, subtitle, duration, content, tutorials, suppliers, packages, slug, author, price. Here we go. So it's a many to one. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why have I got that to many to one? So many courses can have one. Why did I do that? That doesn't make sense. Many courses can have one price, so many courses can have the same price. That doesn't make any sense. My powers of swearing suppression are strong. I'm not really a sweary guy, to be honest. No. Although, I am in private, I think. But, I don't know. If you hear me swear, there's a reason. This is just code. It might seem like I'm getting stressed, but I'm actually enjoying this. This is good. This is nice. It's a nice sort of chilled out problem solving thing. And I'm discovering parts of this code that it hasn't been architected well. And I like finding these little niggles. Yeah, and the reason why I'm hesitating here is that I need to think a little about this in the bigger picture, because essentially, right, there's going to be two ways of viewing a course. One is that you view it free. Actually, no, there's more than two. So okay, so if a course is free, as in if it's on YouTube, like for example the PHP course that's happening every Monday, then obviously the price will be $0. And I think where my head was at doing this many to one is that many courses are going to be free, and therefore many of them will have the same price of $0. However, this is where it gets a little bit confusing, is that a free course could also be a paid for course, because I want the ability of people being able to subscribe, and if they do, they can see all of the free courses but without any advertising. So all the courses are going to be hosted somewhere else, not YouTube, as well as YouTube. No, I shouldn't say that. Some of the courses are going to be hosted on YouTube and as well as somewhere else. Some of the courses are only going to be hosted somewhere else, and therefore are going to be paid for courses. So this is where I think the confusion is with this. It's not a case of just putting in a text box. It's a case of knowing what kind of subscription the user is running on against. But really, thinking about it, taking a big step back from the whole thing, I don't actually think we need a price. That might sound a bit left field, but if a user is doing it through subscription, then it's not going to be based on the price of the course. It's going to be based on the monthly or yearly subscription fee, which is set regardless of what course it is. So I don't think we need one. I think halfway through this project I had this crazy notion of allowing people to purchase courses on a one-off thing, and I think this is where So what I'm saying essentially is we can get rid of this. I think, and we could probably also get rid of the price entity itself. I think. Let me just see. We got course. Let me just see how the subscription stuff is wired up. If I've finished that off. So the user. Where are we? Where's the user? Here we go. User. All right. The user has a profile. It has a subscription plan. There we go. Subscription plan, and then all the registered courses. The subscription plan goes over to here. That's subscription plan, and the subscription plan has a name, an internal name, an external ID, a vendor name, frequency, and a price. There we go. So there's where the price hangs in. Yeah, okay, so we still need to keep that entity, but we don't need to have the entity here, connected here, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I might have to add it later on if I wanted to do like one-off courses that you just buy. But I think for the MVP, I'm happy to do that. Now, this unfortunately is going to have quite a bit of a knock-on effect to everything, because now I've just deleted that piece of code, I need to go into all sorts of various different things and remove it from fixtures and databases and API calls and all sorts. So I think the safest thing to do right now is to do a commit and just commit everything. What's the src? Oh yeah, this is for the new stuff. So adding don't shout. adding CMS course functionality. Cool. Groovy. All right. So now we've got something to go back in the logs, because I've got a feeling this is going to be quite a big change. So we're going to remove that. This also means that I'm going to have to run the tests, and I've got a feeling the tests will fail. No, they worked. Okay, that shouldn't have happened. You shouldn't be removing code and then running the test and finding out that nothing else has broken. That means that you haven't done a test. Oh, good. Okay. Wow. Confidence levels of my code have just plummeted. Okay. Right, what else do I need to change? If we go to the API course controller, find all by package, so that's getting type and free. Get JSON response, this is probably what I need to change here. Based on the JSON encoder, which is the course encoder. Scroll. We should have... Oh, no we don't. Oh, that's weird. We don't even have price here. So the API is just not returning the price. I wonder if I've just sort of made that decision already that we weren't going to have the price, but I just didn't bother removing it from the endpoint. Fantastic. Okay, that's half the work done. All right. Okay. I'm fine. Whatever. What we do need to do, though, is we do need to change the form. This form was automatically generated by the maker bundle. This can go. Cool. Oops. Okay. Manager, is there anything in here that I need to deal with in terms of pricing? No. Okay, maybe we've got around that. So maybe this becomes a non-issue because we don't have a price. All right, let's go back to here. Let's make sure I'm tailing the logs, which I am, and let's refresh the page. Yay! We've got a thing. We've got a thingy thing. A form. That's what I'm thinking of. A form. Okay, so we can change the title. I'm going to put in new course here. New course. Woo! And we'll work through it. Subtitle is the test. Duration is 100. Content is this is a test. Slug is going to be a test. Publish date really should be today's date, but whatever. I'll just put one in. Doesn't matter. Yeah, fine. Views, whatever. Updated date. I don't really need to have this on the form, to be fair, because this, like I said, the pre-persists deal with these things. I want it to be active. The image is an issue, but we'll just pick one from random. Supplier is going to be me, and the author is again going to be me, and then we hit save. Fingers crossed. This is probably going to blow up. Come on. Yay! Oh, we've got the new course. That's cool. Oh, that's sweet. Let's show it. Let's edit it. Let's change that to be 101. Let's hit update. $101. Let's hit edit. Let's hit delete, and then OK, and that should deactivate the course. Oh, brilliant! It is sweet. Oh, I'm so happy with this. I thought that was going to be painful, but it wasn't. It's surprising what you can get away with when you just think about these issues, right? And you think about how, because I created a whole bug here explaining about the price in the course should be, and then I was like, but I can't create course. But then I was thinking about the pricing and how the pricing, it just doesn't matter. So yes, we can create a course, and this I'm going to delete because it doesn't. There we go. Sweet. Cool, we're blasting through these. All right, so I'm going to go and grab a cup of tea, I think. Maybe, yeah, I need a cup of tea. I'm going to grab a cup of tea and then I'll be back. And I think we're going to start working on listing the tutorials. This is going to be, and we'll do list all books. Not list all books, sorry. Create a tutorial. When I get back, we'll do list all tutorials, create a tutorial, update a tutorial, and we probably need to do show tutorial. What else is there? There's delete a tutorial as well. Deactivate. I don't delete. Deactivate tutorial. Top tip: do not delete records in a database. Always have a flag and set that to false. All right, so after I grab a drink, I'm going to come back and we're going to work through all of this. Now, I don't have any of this yet set up yet, so we're going to go straight to the command line and start building the stuff using the maker bundle, the CRUD calls there, and it will go in here. Cool. So bear with me a minute. I'll just grab a cup of tea and I will be back. Okay, hello. We got my tea. Got my tea. Cheers, everybody. So, I think, if I may, I might just sit down. My legs are getting tired. It's like nearly 10:30. So, let me just adjust my desk. There we go. I've been stood up far too long. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh no. Oh dear. Please adjust your... Oh no, I've literally taken the microphone off of the stand. Sorry, this is gonna make a horrible noise. It's not screwing in anymore. This is annoying. I deeply regret doing that now. Give me a second. Ugh. That's better. Sorry. Let's tighten that up. Okay. Good. Okay. So the tutorials, that's what we're going to be playing with. It looks very weird that I'm down here now. Let's move that over. So for this, we're going to use the Maker bundle in Symfony, which is like superpower grade Symfony stuff. And I guess what we should do is do it. I'm going to do it through here, just because there's a little bit of quirky nuance. I don't really want to do it down here. Right, so we'll come out of this, and let's clear down the screen. Let's do bin console. And I'll just list everything first. Console. I also need to remember how to do this myself. I haven't done this for a while. So there is one here called CRUD, I believe. Make CRUD. Create CRUD doctrine entity. Create a CRUD for doctrine entity classes. So that's what we'll play with. We could, of course, play with the controllers and the forms and other things. But this does the whole shebang. Creates the CRUD for us. So it's bin console and then make CRUD. And I think it's going to ask me a question of what entity I want to make the CRUD for. And I think we're going to do the tutorial, which is this badger here. And if I start typing T, so it's found tag. U, we got tutorial view, but I don't want tutorial view. I want just a plain and simple tutorial, please. Okay, now I'll press enter, and that's created us a tutorial controller, a form with a tutorial type, and then these templates. So delete, form, edit, index, new, and show. Now, of course, these need to be adjusted manually because these need to have the CMS put in front of them. So there's going to be a bit of faffing about for a bit. Essentially, hang on a minute, why is that? Okay, whatever, let's get rid of this. So essentially what's happened after running that make command, the maker bundle, it's a brilliant bundle. In controller, we should have a tutorial controller here. But I need to change this to be CMS tutorial controller. CMS. Yes. Sweet. And also, if we go to the CMS course controller, we need to kind of follow this convention. So we've got /CMS and then tutorial, and then we've got the name CMS underscore course, so this would be CMS and then tutorial here. So I'm going to copy this. This is the root prefix for all the roots within this controller, so we'll copy that. We'll put this into here, and we'll change this to be tutorial, and we'll change this to be CMS course tutorial underscore. There we go. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to remove all of these. So this is going to be indexed because it's going to be prefixed, of course, with this. So this is going to be index, this is going to be new, this is going to be show, this is going to be edit, this is going to be delete. Yes, good. And then we'll go to the top and then we'll run down again because I need to adjust the redirections. So where we got redirect root, this needs to be redirect to CMS tutorial, and this is index. For anyone who's using PHP Storm, I highly recommend there is a Symfony plugin, and when you configure it correctly, it will read your Symfony project and it will come up with those suggestions. It just saves so much time. I remember back in the old Symfony 1 days, we didn't have anything like this, and it was a struggle. So I'll show you what I mean. Like I want to change this to be tutorial CMS tutorial index, but I've worked on projects where you've got literally thousands of roots. So having a way of doing an autocomplete like this is fantastic. So CMS tutorial index, there we go. And this root here, CMS tutorial index. Okay, I think that's all wired up. Let's save this. There's also some changes I need to make in the templates. So if we come out of there and then go into templates here, we should see that we have tutorial. So let's go through these. Yes, this needs to be CMS tutorial. I think it was index. Was it index? Let's press Control Z a couple. No, it's tutorial delete. Of course it is. Sorry, CMS tutorial delete. There we go. That's fine on the form. The edit has the index. This needs to be CMS tutorial index. There we go. The index itself should have a few, I believe. Yeah, here this is CMS. Oops, tutorial, and this is show, which would be what, index, and then this would here, this one here. Is that right? No, that's wrong, isn't it? CMS tutorial show, and this one here is CMS tutorial edit. There we go. Cool. Now we go to the new one. This is tutorial index, so this would be CMS tutorial index. This one will be the show. And do we have? Yeah, we've got index and we've got edit. So CMS tutorial index and CMS tutorial. I've forgotten edit. There we go. Good. Okay. Okay, right, that was a bit of blind coding there. I need to actually go and click about, shouldn't I? Look at all these red files that need to be committed up, loads. And we hardly created them, which was great. We just adjusted them. Another thing I'm going to do, which I didn't do for the course, is I'm going to do a refactor rename, and we're going to put this as CMS underscore tutorial. And it's gone. Of course, it's gone and broken all sorts of things. I think what I can do is just get away with doing something like this. So CMS underscore boom replace. And I could probably do a find and path in all of these things. Actually, no. It's not that, is it? It's find and replacing path. There we go. So I want to look for this, and I want to replace this with CMS underscore tutorial. There it is. All of those. That's good. Let's replace all those. Replace. And has it done one by mistake? Because I have just done one. So let's do a find in path. Find that tutorial, CMS tutorial. No, that looks fine. That looks fine. All right. Enough playing. Let's see if we can actually get this viewing. So let's first of all see, can we list all the tutorials? So I want to go to tutorial. Fingers crossed. We should have a tutorial index. Come on. You know you want to. Oh no, there's an error. So we're playing this game again. Whack-a-mole of the bugs. Never mind. Let's go to tail those logs. Let's see what we've got here. Unable to generate a URL named tutorial new. No such. Really? I thought I had got all of these. That's strange. Let's do a find in there. Just make sure that there's nothing in here. Oh, there is. I missed one. And it just appears CMS underscore tutorial new. There we go. Right, let's try that again. Unless I've missed it somewhere else. No, here we go. This is all the tutorials. All of them. Not all of them. I haven't put them all up. Hence the reason why I need the CMS. But this is looking good. So I'm going to mark that bug as done. Thank you. Right. And then we're going to do show tutorial first, and then we'll go back to deactivate a tutorial. Then we'll update a tutorial, and we'll try and create a tutorial. So show tutorial. Can I do that? So we go over to here, and we hit show. I'm probably going to... Oh, no, it did work. I'm surprised. Yeah, that looks fine. Hang on, what was that? Slug is scripting. That's an interesting slug. I don't know why I put that there. Okay. Okay, so let's rattle through these. So show is working. Can I deactivate a tutorial? Now this will fail. I hope it will fail. Let's hit delete. Actually, it might not fail. It might just work. And if it works, then yes, it works. In my eyes, that's a failure. Because, as I mentioned, we shouldn't be deleting them records from the database. And it's fine because all of this is backed up. So I'm more than happy to break it. But what we should be doing is, instead of deleting these things, is setting them to be inactive. So I'm going to go to here, and we're going to go into the here and then delete mechanism, much like we've done before, where we have the tutorial. We're going to do tutorial, set active and set that to false. And then we're going to persist the tutorial. Okay, so I want to try and do this with how to copy files and folders. So let's hit edit. This is a tutorial for the Linux one. How to copy files and folders in Linux. So we'll hit, oh, I'm sure I hit edit there. Did I hit edit there? Yes, I did. So there's something wrong here. What's going on with that one? Info. I'm looking for critical. Uncaught exception. Catchable fatal error. Could not be converted to a string. Here we go. Could not be converted to a string. Okay. This has got me thinking now. Maybe I've set this up wrong. But let's just see. This is to do with the video. So if we go to entity and then video, which is down here, we have external ID, we've got title. Okay, so we do have a title on the video, so I could use that as the toString. Okay. Interesting. I just want to double check something though. I just want to double check the database again. Reverse search MySQL. Oh no, I need to evaluate the shell. There we go. Now we need to do the MySQL bit. I want to just check the database and just make sure it was API DB. That the title is actually being populated. So I want to do a select title from tutorial. Yes, they are. Oh no, this is tutorial. Sorry, beg your pardon. This needs to be video. Yes, they are being put in. Okay. Working with directories, searching. Okay. Okay, I didn't think they were, but they are, so that's fine. I tell you what I'll do is also do a show create table of video. I just want to see the mechanics behind this. For title. Here we go. It is not null, so it isn't nullable. Okay. Good stuff. All right, let's come out of this and just get rid of that. Okay. So this means that I can put a toString on here, but like I said before, I need to test this before I do anything because the API relies on these things. So, and I will be doing API tests. I won't be doing them tonight because I don't think I've got time, but I will be doing API tests or running them again at least. I'll be doing it tomorrow just in case anything shakes out the tree. What am I looking for? I'm looking for tests. Here we go. And it is in API. It is in no, it's in unit. And we're looking for the video test. And I would like to copy this, please. Actually, we'll copy the author test. toString. We'll just copy that. It's pretty much the same, to be honest. The same but different. So this is video, and this is set title, and we'll do foo bar. We'll change all of these things. Okay, let's run that failing test. That should fail. Get rid of that notice. Yeah, I think I saw one. Yep, groovy. Okay, so that should be the same as this one. Cannot be converted to a string. This is off of app video. Yeah, that's correct. Cool, and then we go and fix that failing test. So on here, underneath the constructor here, we'll do public function toString, and we'll return this title. Whoa. No. There we go. This returns a string, and then this up here. Now, the string, the title itself, isn't nullable, so I do need to, when we instantiate a new video, we need to do this title is equal to a blank string, like this. And I'm also going to put in a test for default set ID. I don't have default testing up here, and that can go as well. Bit of tidy up there. Test default. So we instantiate a new video without anything. We should make sure that it's a blank string, and we should also make sure that we have, I think I saw a view count of 0 there. Get views. All right. Let's defaults. All right, let's run this. Cool. Okay, they have all passed. Sweet. Okay, so let's go back to here, refresh the page. All right, let's see what's broken. Okay, info. Incritical. So this is now meta could not be converted to a string. This is weird. Why is meta trying to convert to a string? Why would that be a thing? Hey, we've got a follower. Hey, thank you, Farius XD. Thank you very much for following. You've set all of the emojis off. Awesome. Thank you very much. And now I've got something in my eye. Yeah. Thank you. Brilliant. Sweet. So this is confusing. I don't know why meta needs to be converted to a string. Again, this kind of means that the Symfony will convert this into a select box. And that doesn't make any sense to me. So that could be an interesting thing to look at, I think. I don't think I need to do that, right? Because meta is basically the SEO stuff. So it's like where are we? Meta here. It is things like description, and it's things like well, it is just description. I obviously haven't done anything else to that. Hang on, I'm getting really confused now. Why did I do that? Why? That doesn't seem in any way, shape or form a good idea. Why did I just create an entity with... I'm baffled. Right, let's go to the video a minute. And why is this coming off of the video, or is this coming off the tutorial? Oh, this is coming off the tutorial, isn't it? So to go to tutorial, which is down here. And what have we got? We got the title, the slug. Do we have meta? Meta here. It is a many to one. Many tutorials will have one meta. Again, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would that? Why would you have the same meta for different videos? Okay, let's see the API. Am I doing anything with this for the API? If not, I'm getting rid of it, because that doesn't make any sense to me. Have I even created a test for it? I have, yeah. God's sake. Silly me. Right, so let's take a look at the API again. So let's go to, where are we? Controller, and it would be course API, course controller. Course controller would pull down all of the tutorials. So we would, that's for enrolling. This is for showing. Here we go. So let's go to the JSON encoder. JSON encoder is the course JSON encoder. The course JSON encoder will have a tutorial schema, which is fine. The tutorial schema only displaying the title, the display order and the video. It's not actually displaying anything else. However, let's go into the tutorial schema and see. We have title, slug, subtitle, content. We don't have the meta. We are playing around with, we've commented this out for some reason, I don't know why. Yeah, so we're not using the meta. Can I just see the fixtures? And I need to change the fixtures obviously for the others as well. So course fixture. So this is the course. Price 0. I'm going to need to remove that, aren't I? This is going to be tricky. Can I get rid of... Can I do a search? Can I look for that string and do a Shift R, look for that string and delete the whole thing? Can I do that? No, I can't. No worries. In project. There we go. Right, let's paste that back in. Right, okay, so I'm going to replace all of that. There we go. So that's deleted that out there. So that was the price that we didn't do last time, which I should have done. But there's also this meta thing. But the meta thing is for the tutorial, right? So the tutorial is, where is that defined? So this is like the Jekyll course and the Python course that I've done, but what? It's in config, isn't it? That courses, it's up in here, I'm sure it is. Okay, title, so this is a tutorial. Aha, gotcha. I'm not sure. Like this is SEO, or should be used for SEO, so I don't think I should remove it. However, how does it hang together? If we go to the tutorial fixture, so I know I'm going all over the place, bear with me, I'm just trying to wrap my head around my own code. Here we go, we instantiate a new meta, then we set the description, and then we persist it. Okay, and then what do we do with it? So we instantiate a new video, new tutorial. Where are we set? Aha, we set the meta here. Is this me trying to be too clever? Like, I get this. I understand why I've done this. I get it. It's like, so if I go to the database, I kind of understand. No. The database, Pete. The database. Go to the database. Have I just rats? Sorry. Yes, I did want this to be still running off the logs. Sorry. I might just keep a terminal window open for the database. I've gone and forgotten the command. Oh, I need to, of course, cd into here, and then I need to evaluate the Docker machine. So reverse search of eval, there we go. And then we need to go into the database container and have a little noodle around. So if we do use API DB, so we'll do a describe of tutorial. Damn, sorry. Come on. There we go. Okay, so we should have a meta ID in here. We do. Cool. And then in the meta table. So describe meta. Okay, we got the ID back. So let's also do a describe. Let's do a show create table tutorial. Yeah, so we've got a foreign key reference here of meta ID. And meta ID there. That looks okay. I think because it's running off the maker form, I think it's trying desperately to return a select box because it doesn't know what else to do with it. So I think it is a case of hacking up the form, which is fine. I'm more than happy and capable of doing that. This is the thing here which is causing the problem. I'll grab some of my tea. Bear with me a moment. I don't know what went in my eye. I think it was just an eyelash. But thanks very much, Varius. I don't know if anybody can see, but if I go into this view, I'm drinking this tea, right? And this tea has this. Oh, I can't. There we go. I don't know if you can see. Can you see that? There's a little cat. It's holding up my green tea sort of container thing. Cat crazy we are. Anywho. So I think what I need to do here is, I mean, this is technically classed as an embedded form because it's a form. As in, it's a form which just has a text area in. So I think what I need to do, oopsie, is I need to come out of this. And we're gonna do bin console. Let me just see the console. We can get rid of this stuff now, I think. Well, let's just make it smaller. So there we go. Okay, so we're gonna do the one which does the form. So make form. Here we go. So create a new form class. So let's see if we can do that, because what I want to achieve is to make a form for the meta and then import or embed that in. So let's just run with me here. So name the form class. This is going to be meta type. Name the entity or the fully qualified model class name that the form will be bound to. So in this case, it's going to be meta. And it's created. So we've created the meta class here. And I think, if my memory serves me well, and I've been working on a lot of other frameworks recently, so bear with me. I think there's a second parameter here of type, which there is. And I think I can do this. I can do meta type class. Okay, now let's refresh and see what happens. Has this done? Is this going to do what I think it's going to do? Or is this just going to return the same error? It's going to return an error, but is it the same one? Of course, I'm not logging the errors. So we had an issue with meta before. So if we go up here, we got infos, we've got more infos. Okay, no, that's strange. We are tailing them, so it should come through here. Okay, what was that? Info. Yeah, it's still burst. Info. I guess I could have just tailed this and grabbed it, but whatever. Here we go. App entity course could not be converted to a string. So that did fix that. Yeah, I thought it would have done. Because essentially what we've done is we've said, don't just render this out as a select box, as your default would be with rendering out the... let me find the file a minute and explain my reasoning. Bear with me a second whilst I find all the bits and pieces, and then I'll explain why I think that has worked. So if we go to say the entity and go to not the course, go to the tutorial. The tutorial has a meta, and the meta has the relationship of many to one. Now this means that many tutorials will have one meta, essentially, right? Which gives us the this relationship down here. So we have meta ID on the tutorial table. So we've got this tutorial table meta ID, like so. Good. Now by default, I've got a feeling Symfony will try and via the maker bundle. I think by default it sees these relationships and goes, okay, because you've got the potential of selecting one of these pieces of meta for many of these tutorials, we're going to convert this into a select box by default. Because notice none of these have any types. So to get around this, what I've done is I've created my own form, which is meta type, and I did this through the maker bundle itself. And it's created this, which has description, updated date, and creation date. And I've said in the course type in here, to use that as the type of form field. Essentially, this is what an embedded form does, right? So, only infos. There's no logging libs. Well, what I was doing, you see, is it's a great point there, Farius. What I was doing was looking for, you see here, php.infos. So I was looking for criticals. So I've lost it now. Here, request.critical. This is basically what I'm keeping my eye on. If I can find that in the log files, then this becomes the error. Yeah. I guess what I could do is I could do this. I could pipe this to grep and then search for critical. Right. If I can spell it correctly. Or just do crit. Is that gonna... Or perhaps I can't. Oh, I'm tailing it. That's why. That's why I need to do probably a less or a more. Oh, and I don't have those installed on the Docker container, so no, I can't do that. Never mind. But yeah, that's essentially what I was doing. I was trying to look for criticals. Because I'm tailing it, I should be able to... It should be able to pump that out. Tail -f. So let's refresh, because I know that there's another error. There we go. So it's only pulling out the criticals. That's brilliant. Thank you for giving me the nudge there, Farius, for doing that, because now I don't have to hunt. I don't have to hunt through the sea of infos. Thank you. You've just cut my development time down via load. I appreciate that. Thank you. Excuse me. Okay, so that error was. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Because that's such a good idea, I think what I'm going to do is put that in make. Let's do that. Alright, really got something in my eye here. I'm going to, let me just stop the clock, and just put this in the make file, because that is such a good idea to log. Let's just call this, say, log critical. And it's going to be Docker compose exec API, and we're running that. Yes, and I can't spell critical at all. How do you spell critical? C-I critical. Crit-E. I'm missing an I. There we go, log critical. Huh, that's nice. So let's come out of the container a minute. And then do make log critical. Okay, so that should be tailing that now. So if I refresh this, that should come back with, yeah, the exception. Brilliant. That's now going to be in every one of my projects. Excellent. Good stuff. Okay, so this is here. This is catchable error. Object of class entity could not be course could not be converted to a string. So this is a two-string issue, as we've seen many times today. Yes, that's correct. They should add some colors. Make it look pretty. All right. So let's go to. It's type of course, isn't it? So I'm going to put in a unit test here. So this is in course test, and we're going to test for. We'll copy the one from, because I'm lazy, from author, and we'll put it into course test here. Because I did say at the start of this stream, anything I do that touches upon these entities, because these are being used, I do need to, even though it's a really small thing, I do want to test them. So this is going to be an instantiation of a new course, and we're going to set the title of the course to be, just say, new course, and then we're going to cast that as a string, and we should have new course back. Now this should fail. Let me change that to be course, and that to be course, and tidy up the imports. No, they're fine. All right, so let's run the test. That should fail. Do we have a failing test? Yeah, we do. Cool. Okay, so that's failed, and then we go to here, and then in here we do public function to, not clone, to string, and we return this this title, and that is the data type of a string. Okay, so that should now pass. These tests of colors. Yeah. Cool, okay, that's good. That's now passing. Now let's refresh the page. Go over to our fancy little new terminal here, which is only printing out criticals. And no, it's actually worked. Sweet. That's cool. So this is what the toString was doing. It was creating the select box here, based on the title of the course, of all the courses that I have. This is fantastic. Like, this is gonna really, I know this looks like a, hot trash at the moment. I mean, it's just a bunch of inputs, but this is really going to make the updating of this so much easier. Okay, so this is editing of tutorial. Let's see if we can do that. So this is how to copy files and folders. This is my Linux tutorial. And we're going to just put in test here. And we're going to put in an extra slug of test. Let's change the display order to, say, 14. I don't know. Okay, now hit update. We've got an error. And the error is, date time of updated date cannot be null. Okay. It's because these things need to be set, I think. Now, really, because I'm running a pre-persist, I don't actually need to display the dates at all. Argument of date time still is null. Really? That's strange. Oh, wait. This is the updated date of the meta, isn't it? Yeah, because we've got two. We've got one for the meta, and then we've got one for the... yeah, so this is the meta thing here. Yeah, okay. I'm going to try something though. I'm going to remove these dates and see if they work because of the lifecycle callbacks. So yeah, that did work fine. We've got the test there. So I'm going to just quickly go into... it's the form that I want to change. It's this one. And I want to remove the updated, these two. And I'm going to do the same for the meta as well. I won't yet do it for the course. Okay, so let's hit edit again. So we shouldn't have any of those. Oh, we got publish date. Do I need publish date? Yeah, I probably should have publish date because this is what it's ordered by. Okay, so I've removed all those dates. So let's go and change, say, I don't know. Let's remove test from here, and there was test here. Remove that as well, and just put in test here. Now let's hit update. Because the pre-persist hooks in Symfony, in Doctrine, are working, I don't think... No, I didn't need to. Yeah. So the updated date updates automatically because of those lifecycle hits. And I'll show you what those do. So I have a trait, a PHP trait, which deals with this. This is in entities, this is in traits, and it's timestampable trait. They have these ORM hooks, pre-update and pre-persist. So pre-persist will set the creation date. Pre-update will set the updated date. Now for these to work, the entities themselves, if I go over to the tutorial, this one here, it must have, well, first of all, it must have the trait, but it also must have this here, has lifecycle callbacks. Because this tells Doctrine that there is a life cycle that needs to be processed during the transaction. Yeah, Symfony is really cool. I mean, I love it. Yeah, it's and it converts it. If I show you in the database, it converts it to Oops. I've gone and flipped that. Oh, never mind. It converts it to a proper date time. So if I did select all from tutorial, let's do a limit of 1 because hang on a minute, select all from tutorial. What am I doing? No. There we go. So we've got these dates in here. So this would be the created date, I think, and this would be the updated date, or vice versa, either one. We should also have a published date as well, which is this one too. Cool. Yeah, so let's go back to Jira, and okay, so we've just done the update tutorial. That's done. All right. So now on my list of things, excuse me, is the Deactivate tutorial. Now I can't remember, did I do that already? I thought I did. Let me go to the controller and have a little hunt. So CMS tutorial controller. Did we? Yeah, we did here. So let's go and test that. So essentially what happens with this is this column here, it's all set to yes. If I go to edit that and then delete this and say OK, this tutorial, how to copy files and folders, the first one, should be deleted or deactivated. Yes, so that does work. Good stuff. Okay, so we'll go back over to here and we'll get rid of this one. This is great. Okay, create a tutorial. Can I do that? So let's head back over to here, and there should be right at the bottom of the page. And I'm gonna have to come out of. I'm gonna have to make this really small. Bear with me a minute, because there should be. There we go. Just here, a little button that you can't see because I get this issue. An error occurred whilst loading the web debugger. This is because I've hacked around with it because of the API. But anyway, let's hit that. This should bring me up to the creation form. And no, we can't. We got an error. So let's go back over to here and tail the logs again. So get type must be a string, but it's return null of tutorial. This is the same as what we had with the course, I believe. So yeah, okay, we've swam in these waters before. So essentially what I need to do in the tutorial test, if I can find it here, we need to create some tests, a test to make sure that there is a string when we instantiate a new class of tutorial. So we need to just make sure that this is empty. So it's just an empty string, but it is a string. We're asserting that the type is we're doing assert same, which checks the type of that. This is going to be get title, and we are going to just remove that and remove this. We're also going to assert as well the subtitle as well, subtitle, and we're going to just change this to be test defaults. Let's just change that to be defaults. Okay, I'm not sure. There's probably more defaults that I need to set, but let's just run this. And we've got get title must be type of string, but null is returned. Get type. Okay, yeah. Right, that's because this is a failing test, of course. Yeah. Right, so I need to, when we instantiate this, wherever the constructor's gone, where is that constructor gone? Maybe I don't have a constructor. Maybe this is the problem. Public function. No, I don't even have a constructor on here. So let's go and create one. Public function construct. So this title is equal to an empty string, and this subtitle is equal to an empty string. Okay, let's test these things. This is something that I'm trying to slowly get into, you know, the TDD stuff. I do it sometimes, but not all the time. But testing definitely is something that I'm a big advocate of. Yeah. Okay, so they all passed, which is great. So can we now go here? Nope. What else is wrong? So this is now get slug. Okay, gotcha. So let's go back to the tests. So this needs to be... I think there's also... Is there get content? Yeah, there is. So let's do get slug. I'm also going to do get content too. Unfortunately, I'm not running PHP 7.4, so I can't set the properties to be those data types. Get slug, get content. There we go. Right, so again, failing tests all around. Good, there should be... Cool, okay. This content is equal to an empty string, and it was this slug is also equal to an empty string. Okay, let's run those tests again. I mean, really, I'm only testing getters and setters here. It's only accessors, so it's no real big deal. But it is because this is the CMS part of this. There's a whole API that I've created over the past God knows how long, and the API is used by a Gatsby front end, and I'm just kiddie gloves around that at the moment, just being very cautious. Yeah. I've been trying to get into B-hat testing, so coming up with scenarios using Cucumber and Gherkin for front-end types, end-to-end tests. Okay, let's go to here, and then did I run those already? Yeah, they're good. Okay, let's okay, still an error. What's going on now? Uncaught exception get video. Must be an instance of video. Seriously? That doesn't sound right. Let me have a look at the database. That doesn't sound right at all. Let's do a show create table tutorial. Video ID. Default to null. Yeah, I didn't think that was the case. Video ID defaults to null. I guess just to clarify that, I could... give me my prompt back, thank you. Describe tutorial. Video ID is nullable. So what's going on here? Return value. See, this is why I wish I was running PHP 7.4. Never mind. Return value of tutorial. It's my project. I could run PHP 7.4 if I wanted to. I just haven't got around to setting it up. Get video must be an instance of that. Null is returned on line 160 of tutorial.php. All right, let's have a little look at that, shall we? Well, first of all, let's have a look at the properties. So we've got subtitle content video here. This should be nullable. Because I'm going by what this says. Nullable is yes. default null. So course string title content video here, get video, this is nullable. Okay, I really should run PHP Storm at some point. Okay, what else is wrong? Get author must be an instance of author, but nulls return. Is author nullable? Yes. So again, that's another problem here. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Front-end tests. I won't do them in this stream, but it's something that we have been doing before, and I'm sure we'll be doing more. I'm currently building the new howtocodewell.net website. Okay, so this is a humongous project, and I've been doing this for, I would probably say, the best part of probably since November last year. Most of it has been on stream, and we've made many different decisions. So, for instance, we did all this in microservices, and then I decided against doing it in microservices. Some of it still is in microservices, but a lot of it isn't anymore. I think that should be fine. Yeah. It's using Gatsby and React as the front end, which I haven't got running yet. Well, no, I have got running, but I don't have it running tonight. Oh, what's going on here? This is get meta. Can meta be? Yes. I'm shaking my head because when I set this up, I should have looked at all of this. Null. Set video, set author. I could just do a find in path, but get meta. Here we go. Yeah, so it's a huge project that I've been doing sort of in my spare time. Let's just make sure those will work. Yeah. Refresh that. Okay, when is this going to work? Return value of tutorial get course must be an instance of course, but null is returned. Course ID is. So again, this is another one. Hang on a minute. That doesn't make sense. Where's this going? Tutorial get course. Let's just do a find for course. Inverse by tutorial. Yeah, so this is nullable. There we go. Cool. And let's just make sure these tests still run. Cool. Excellent. Okay, so we now have this blank tutorial. Yeah, it's like there's so many different moving parts to this that any little change can have an adverse effect if it's not properly tested. And this is going to eventually be, production. At some point, go to production, and I want to have. So these are all the tests for the units, but we've also got API tests, so testing the actual API endpoints. And then we've got, so this is like testing for enrollments, and so forth. It's quite advanced because well, I've seen projects with far more tests, but it uses its own database. So there's a database dump that gets dumped for every time a test that touches the database. So that was fun to do. And this is just this API or CMS that I'm dealing with. This is just the back end. There's the whole front end. Okay, so let's create a new tutorial here. So let's go test tutorial. Slug is test, subtitle is test, content is test. We do need the publish date in. Order is 10. We're going to activate it. This is the video, which, yeah, so I need to think of the order in which this happens, because here we're assuming that the course and the video has already been created, and we're assigning a tutorial to that. So let's hit save. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, woohoo. This is a bit of a nasty one. App entity meta was configured to cascade persist operations. Okay, let's start again. A new entity was found through the relationship app entity tutorial meta that was not configured to cascade to persist operations for entity, and then it's app entity meta. To solve this issue, either explicitly call persist on an unknown entity or configure it to cascade this association in the mapping. For example, many to one needs to have a cascade persist. So the thing that's breaking here, and this always confused me when I started learning Symfony many years back, it was the side in which the persisting happens. But I believe, and I'll probably get it wrong now as I've said this, I believe it is against the tutorial. So if we go to the entity and we go to the tutorial here, which I'm on, and we go to the, where I'm looking for meta here, and we set that to cascade to persist. So this is going to create, because it's a new entity, the meta is completely brand new, it's fresh. We need to tell this to persist that entity whilst it's persisting the tutorial entity. So let's go back to here and let's hit save. Fingers crossed. There we go, it's in, boom. Let's try and find it. Where did it go? Here we go, test tutorial. I don't know why it's down there. Oh, it's because I've set the order of it really sort of low. Excellent. I'm going to do that again. I just want to be doubly sure. So unfortunately, I do need to go small just to access that button. Like I said at the start of this stream, I'm not overly fussed at this stage at how this looks. This is just a mechanism for me to actually put content into the database rather than use PHP fixtures. So test 2. This really should be just put test -2 test. And we'll put this to be December 2019. I'm not really sure if that's going to adjust the order, but let me just fly through this a minute. So test or whatever, doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure that I can see it. So it's going to be called test 2. Test 2. Where did that go? Test 2. Yeah, it did go in. Sweet. So that is cool. I'm really happy with that. I'm chuffed with today's progress. I'm chuffed with how it's gone. Yeah, that's a great question, Farius. It's because it's in dev mode. Yeah. And in fact, I get an error because I've turned the debugger off, but I get an error because it's off. And it's off because of the API. Just to give you an example of the API, right? So these are some of, not all of them, but these are some of the API endpoints. If I go to, say, for example, the course API, if I was to run course all get free, now this is going to come back with an error because it's going to say that we've got access denied. The way to get around this is to log in either as a user or as a system, as the system. So let's log in as the system. So all of these have been set, and we've done all this in the previous streams, but I'll just show you just for clarity. So this is now going to access an auth token. So this is a bearer token. Here we go. Using the token type of bearer, and it is getting it off of the client credentials grant type. So this is running OAuth 2. We've got a test running here, which means that it's going to put the access token, which is this thing here, into our environment variables called system token, which means now we can run this API call because the headers have been populated with the system token. So we should be able to run send, and this should return a JSON schema, which it does, sweet, of the all of the courses which are free, and because it's using the JSON API schema, or the JSON API spec, we should have an include section in here, included, yep. And this is going to return all the tutorials and their related video IDs as well. So yeah, it's a massive project. I did that, I just ran this for my benefit as well, just to make sure that this API was still working. Woohoo! I am really chuffed. Tonight has been a good one. I'm gonna mark this as done. Sweet. And I'm going to put in here git commit, and we're going to say adding the CMS, adding the tutorial CMS MVP, minimum viable product, functionality, functions, commit. Yep, and let's knock this up to the top. Let's push this up. Good. Okay, so we're still working in the CMS branch, but it's good to push this up. Wonderful. So I've been streaming for what now? 3 hours? 2 hours 50. I'm going to shoot off and grab some sleep. But I really enjoyed tonight. This is really good. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for watching. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm really happy and chuffed with how this is going. We've got loads to do for this the CMS section here. But once it's done, you know, I'm going to be able to edit courses and edit tutorials and all sorts of stuff, which is going to make my life so much easier. Anyway, take care, Mr. DB. Thank you very much for lurking in the background there. Take care, buddy. See you all soon, all right? Have a good weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. All right, take care. Bye-bye.